Hello, Maziana? Mas? Hello, Mas?
Can you hear me? Yes, I hear you.
Hey, hi, Mas. Malar here. How are you?
Apa hal?
Janganlah terus-terus apa hal. How are you?
Biasalah.
Okay. Mas, I've been wanting to talk to you. I've been so busy. I'm actually feeling a little bit stuck. So I thought, I could call you, and as usual, that you could knock some sense into my head. I can. So Mas, work has been really tough. Business has been tough also, and that means I'm working longer hours, right? And I was actually thinking, if you could, give me some form of direction, knock some sense into my head as to how do I find my work-life balance, Mas?
Interesting. Work-life balance, yeah, Mala.
Uh-uh.
So first thing first, if I can ask you, okay, if you think about your work-life balance, what does it really look like for you? What is it that you want to achieve? So kalau ada work-life balance now, how will it look like for you? That clarity. Adakah?
Mas, I'm ending this call because I don't like the question you're asking. So I'm going to end this call and get you on live now.
Run away! Bye.
Hi, Mas. Welcome to Being Whole, Being Me. Thank you for having a bit of fun. So that's really what Mas is, because the first time I met Mas, I think you've not heard of this story yet. I hated you. I hated you so much. Yeah, I'm not sure whether Chong Yu is here, but I don't know whether you remember, we were running the first we were co-facilitating a program, a culture change program in Westin Hotel. And you remember, yeah. So I was paired with you. So over tea break, I called up Chong Yu and I said, Chong Yu, I want to quit this session because I cannot stand Maziana, right? And then I think I would have called her throughout the day a couple of times because I cannot stand you. And I cannot believe now that I couldn't stand you. And I have invited you to Being Whole, Being Me, and you've said yes. So why couldn't I stand you? Because you are always giving what we call the red pill, right? So thank you very much for coming on board and saying yes to Being Whole, Being Me. Welcome, Maz. I love you now.
Thank you.
So did you know I hated you?
Only today, I mean, just a couple of years ago lah. Not not that time at Westin, no. I thought you left me at Westin. You're like,
No. So I remember, I was like always calling Chong and say, I want to quit. I want to quit. I don't want to do work with this lady. I cannot tahan her, right? And so I am so glad I didn't quit, or Chong Yu didn't let me to quit. Neither did you quit on me. So Mas, welcome to the program. I'm just going to welcome a couple of friends who are here, who've always been great supporters of us. Welcome, Shaida. Shaidatul. Does that name sound familiar? So, woohoo, she said, I'm tuning in. Yes, coaching in action. So when I need a kick and a slap, I call Maziana. And there's John Peter Ganesan. Good morning, all the way from India. John Peter, I want to congratulate you. I heard that you just got promoted. So congratulations. And again, thank you very much for coming. Vimy. Good afternoon, Vimy. She says, good afternoon, awesome dear. She said, it's a cute start. Comel juga kita. Hi, Pramila. Pramila is another friend of mine, who is an amazing person in the beauty industry. And yes, Pratpal Singh is also here. Hi, Pratpal. Thanks for coming and making it here. You pun kenapa?
Kenal, lama dah. I veteran lah.
Oh, okay. No, it's not the veteran. So I was just going to say some things about Pal. So now that you know Pal, I cannot say those things because I cannot. Yeah, right. So I must ask Pal whether when he met you, whether he hated you as much as I did. So Mas, he also hated you?
I think so lah.
We need to find who loved you. when they first meet you? I think that's more like the question we need to ask, right? So, Mas, I know, when I met you, your style has always been, coach, give it to them as is, and give it to them straight, no icing, eat the butter if you butter cake if you like, if you don't like it, it's too bad. So that's Mas. In action, in style, which I have always struggled with, right? And yeah, in our training, and I remember, how we used to complot, right? In our training, we said, okay, now you are the good cop, I'm the bad cop, sort of a thing. And with you, I think I was always relieved of playing the bad cop because you're naturally bad, can.
Yep.
Okay. Miss J. Sinaya has arrived. You don't play, okay? And she says she loves you.
Love you too.
All right. So, Mas, tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay, thank you. Welcome everybody. Thank you very much for putting some time in here, investing your time here with us. So my background very simple. Yesterday pula. Just now in that video, you could see snippets of my life, how I was brought up, and where I was educated, and what my life is about. My life is about having the freedom to do things that I love to do. And I think I came about to I was a straight shooter. Yes, I think I came to this awakening when I was growing up. I felt a bit claustrophobic in a way that there's so many things I have to follow. The culture, what to do, what not to do. If you're a woman, if you're a girl, okay, you must do like this, you cannot do like that, and all that. So I feel very claustrophobic, a bit suppressed. So when I had the opportunity to go to the USA, voila, all hell break loose. Okay. So I started exploring, learning. That's where actually my character building started to flourish. Okay, before I came home. And when I came home, my mom was like, "Peng San, why my daughter got 3 pierced ears?" I said, "Chill, ma. I'm still me." All right. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I that's how I was how I become Marziana today. And I started working, following the values of my family, and as I journeyed into where I am today, of course, there's a lot of things that change in our life. There's a lot of turning points that actually educate us. Okay, educate me to become a better person. I'm not much better, but I know I can be better. That's always what I hang on to. Okay, so I am better than who I am before. Pal, I am seriously better than before you, first time you met me, okay? And this is due to all the turning points in my life lah. Okay, so, and I embrace coaching because coaching also helps me first to become a better person before I can coach others to be a better person.
Nice, thank you. So I want to korek skip from your childhood, right? So you said you felt suppressed. You couldn't fit into the mold that was given to you as a girl at that time, right? And I think a lot of people who are tuning in, especially now, will relate to it because they know what it means to be suppressed and being put in a mold as to what you should be as a girl. So tell me a little bit about suppression, right? How did that feel in your growing years?
A lot of times I look for validation and approval. Because I was brought up in a small little town called Batu Gajah, very small, anything you shout anything also people will know. Okay, and it's about taking care of the reputation of the family. So you can't really do things freely, like you want to go out. I had curfew to 6 o'clock. You can ask my sister, my sisters, our curfew 6 o'clock in the evening. And those days nak tengok wayang, where got 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock madness, the wayang start. So I wanted to do more of that. So the feeling is that I really, by 18, I really said I really want to get out and explore the world.
Mm.
Yeah.
And why was it important for you to feel free in that sense? Like I mean, most women our era would say, this is how it is. This is the mold that's given to us, right? And
Mm.
like, what made you think that you deserved differently or you deserved better, as we would say today, right? What made you think, I want to be free? Like, why did you want to run away, lah?
Okay, because mainly I feel, okay, at that time, when you're hungry, you can do more, and you just are not allowed to.
Mm,
And that's the feeling I had, and it also stopped the feeling of freedom I had. So it's not building me. It is like it's just a showstopper for me. So that was the feeling. Okay. And you can ask my classmates lah, the kindergarten one, right? Right. That story I shared, okay, in many of my classes. When I was in kindergarten, I was always the sore thumb sticking out among all of them, because when that picture was a class picture, and I was the only one with the little flower. So when I came to photograph session, the teacher already told us tomorrow got photography session. Say, oh, okay, very excited. So I put this big huge flower, and my mother said, what you want to do with this flower? I said, I got a picture today. So when I went to school, right, everyone was laughing at me with the big, huge flower there. I said, why the hell are you guys laughing? This flower is very nice. So it's that kind of thing that I always in search of validation and approval. Like, salah ke? Is it salah? Don't. So much so that in my teen years, I even wear my tudung, because everyone's like, oh, if not, you're not part of us. Or,
mm.
so I was really, that was the fear I had growing up.
Yeah. So
I
it's
was,
very interesting, right? On one hand, you say you were fearful because, like, people who know you now will never associate Maziana to fear, right? So, like, it's like, oh, Maziana was fearful once upon a time, kind of a feeling. So, on one hand, you had fear. On the other hand, while you say you were seeking approval, but you seem to be doing things that was not approved. How did that two come together? Where were you operating from in terms of courage? Because you say you were fearful, you wanted acceptance. I get that, but your example you give with that flower and all of that, right, doesn't fit into being to belong to where they want you to belong. So tell me a little bit about
that's a good question, because I'm also a rule breaker. Uh, Sometimes I just don't. I like, okay. There are times, when I was younger, it was smaller bits of pieces of that feeling. Say, okay, I don't care what people say. I'll just do it. My mother would call it the gale. You so stubborn one, okay? Yeah, but I would call it courage. I will do it, okay. But as I grow older, and lot of things that I learned about life, okay, that small portion of the fear of the courage, becomes bigger and bigger and bigger.
it.
So I had to have that little spike of courage to start
Mm,
off with. That's
mm,
what I, yeah.
mm. So you've always had courage, right? Because I've only known you to be courageous. So if I want courage, I come to you, right? So when I'm like fearful of doing something and you're the one I talk to, and I know a lot of people do that for you. So when you say fear, it really doesn't sit in with me, and it's nice to know you're normal, Lamas. That you also have. It's nice to know that you're normal, right? So you were telling me how your childhood shaped you, and then how you ran away from home to US, right? How did your exposure? Yeah, you ran away. How did your exposure overseas shape you or help you to be your personal best version?
Okay, thank you very much for the question, because that's soalan cepumas lah. It is that teeny bit of courage plus the choices that I'm going to make at that time. I made many, many choices there because I know what I want. Okay, and having to know what you want. Like, I really want to learn. I really want to explore. I really want to see how these Americans live. I really want to see what are their mind like. What kind of thinking mode they have. So I made a lot of friends. In fact I much on the contrary, when I was trying at home, I was trying to get all this approval. Over there, I just let myself fly off from the Malaysian student group, and I go and join all the other international student and get to know all the people. I'm social butterfly lah. Yeah. So I did that with the purpose of learning. I just want to learn. I just want to know. I just want to find out more. That's curiosity I had.
So you've always been this curious, okay, pochi as we call you, like, yeah, I want to know more, I want to know more, right? Because that's the part of you that we all know, right? You're always questioning and challenging the status quo in whatever groups that whenever we work with, right? Which is why, like, we don't like you, sometimes. It's always like when we are done with the meeting, you turn around, Mars is going to ask you something out of the ordinary and stretch the comfort zone of the group, right? Yeah, so good. So tell me, so you went to US, you came back, and now you have your wings unclipped totally. So what I'm hearing is that in your childhood, you knew you had wings, but you felt a little bit clipped. And when you were in US, you broke free and you could fly, right? So you flew back home. So when you flew back home, tell me what happened.
I got a job. I think my first real job is at that that picture of all the blokes sitting down like that, and that's little old me there, skinny. That was Ellie McBeal time. I'm sure a lot of you know Ellie McBeal that time. Oh, so I was wearing this short skirt. See, I still want to be not like the normal people. I was one of the managers, a lady manager lah, right? Among all the managers. So every Friday we have this managers meeting. I'll be the one sitting there, the only lady there, and the rest are all blokes. Did I kena? I mean, did I get challenged? I did. These hardcore managers in a semiconductor manufacturing. They are really hardcore, and that also built my character. And I use more of that courage came out, and I found that, I really love my working time. That time I spent about 10 years with them.
So you're very interesting, right? You when people make it difficult for you, you seem to be enjoying it. Like what? Because usually, right, when we talk to people, they say, I went to work, I was trying to be just myself. I wanted to wear short skirt, and all the people did was, bully me. The people were not fair, and that's what you hear, right? And here you're saying, okay, you do this, no problem. I will play harder, right? So tell me, like really, what's wrong with you, Lamas?
What's wrong with me? I think it's in me. I think it has always been in me that I challenge. People say it's impossible. It can't be done. Even until today, they say that's my taboo word. Cannot. So it cannot be done. I will always think of a solution or find ways of making it happen. So when I was at that manufacturing like Kasem Semiconductor lah, right? I had a very fruitful journey because of the people, and through people that we learn. Yeah, so I mix around with so many people from the lower level, higher level, everyone. Okay, and that actually is the education for me. That is the development in my mindset. Yeah, same when I was in college. Sama juga.
Okay. So I see the same person now, because whenever we are together, you always say, what did I learn? And I've seen you saying this to people who are younger, less senior, like, oh, this person, this is what I learned from this person, right? And that's something that's always resonated with me. So tell me, so you had this great career. How then, how did you get into family life? And how did family life shape you? Because I think that's the crux of a lot of the things that we are talking about today.
Okay, I think balancing between my career. I'm very career minded. I also had family, and when I came back, I still had the values that I had to carry. Okay, so I actually got married when I was 25. It was a traditional marriage. People ask me, "Do you know this person?" Yeah, 6 months only. I know this person. Okay, then we got married, and you still learn. Okay, and it wasn't a good 10 years for me. So that also made me learn. Okay. You learn all the way. It wasn't a good 10 years for me. And I decided that it must end. So you saw in my video, I actually, and in the previous talk, when Rajesh was, was the speaker, I did share that I actually let go of the custody of my children. That time was 7. My girl was 7 years old. My son was 10, going to 11. And I was asked, what made you, so confident you let go? You have your choice. Well, there was still some fear. I must say, be honest, still some fear because there was a lot of what do you call that? When people say, if you do this,
Criticism.
I will do this to you. What
Ah,
is that?
ah,
So I had that, you see, and
right.
then I also had that fear of people saying, "What are you? You let go of your you don't love your kids." Ah."
What kind
Oh,
of a mother are you, Mas? You let go of your children. What kind of a mother are you? Mothers don't do that, Mas.
exactly. So I actually pekakkan telinga. I just deafen
Definitely.
myself, yeah, and just know exactly why I did it. I did it because of my children, okay? Because I didn't want them to go through that battle, that very ugly battle that's going to come about if I'm going to pursue this. So I said to myself, I didn't share this with you, Mala, because I always hold on to this. When it comes to my children, whoever want to take them away from me, they will always know where they came from my stomach lah. Okay, nobody can change that, no one. So with that in mind, I actually put a lot of plans on how to engage with them, how to connect, to keep my connection with them. And I'm very very determined. I'm very very committed to that. I have never like missed my visitation, so
Okay.
that I can still be.
Hold on. So let's go back one step backward, right? So when you heard all of this, I mean, I really cannot imagine. I think making a choice and a decision is one thing, especially this was like how many years ago, right? And in that era and in the culture, right? In the traditional culture that you came from, right? And despite all the criticism that you would have heard, yeah, you proceeded because you were very clear that this is the best for me and for my kids, so that's fine. How did your children, who were then 10 and 7, right?
Mm,
And
mm.
10 and 7, right? I mean, they're big enough to know to express themselves. How did they accept it?
My 7-year-old daughter, it took a while for her to actually get through it. Okay, with the help of me nurturing and meeting them consistently. Okay, my son also took some time. Okay, but we actually sail it together, right? In only about 6 years, where next turning point came in. So 6 years. By the time they're about teenage already, so they're with me after that because their father passed away.
Okay. Yeah. So during this time of 6 years, when you turned up and you see you were very consistent with your behavior, right? I'm very
Yep.
sure I can hear Shopee there.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Pasal-pasal lagi.
yeah, you see Shopee, I also got distracted already. It's like, oh, okay. Right. So during this 6 years, where I'm sure that would have been ups and downs in terms of relationship, because they're just kids, right? One point they will understand, another point they won't understand, and you were showing up consistently. What were some things that you did very consciously that you think helped you to rebuild the relationship?
I had I still maintain good relationship with their father
Ah,
while he was
fantastic.
still alive.
Okay.
There was no negative sentiment or statement about their father in my conversation with them. It's always teaching them to respect their father. It's always telling them that, hey, these are choices that we have to make. It's always making them understand. It's always communicating that to them. And I could see one day, the story, because my daughter that time, she was, I think, about 8 or 9. She said, dad is asking me, whether I can go holiday with you and all that. So can you call dad and not and talk to him? So I called and she lit up. Her face lit up, oh, you can speak to father. Yeah, yeah, no problem. You know. And yeah, I had good relationship. I said, like, I make sure I have that relationship with him, that I don't speak any ill things about him.
Nice.
It's, yeah, it's
So,
not very clear. It's not about their relationship with their dad, it's my relationship with their dad, and it's not about their relationship with me. So make it very clear. I made it very clear.
mm, mm. Now, what did you have any struggles? Because, I mean, there's a breakdown in the marriage. You got divorced, and a lot of people, when they divorce, it's like, I don't want to see your face anymore. I do. Sometimes I've seen, even the mention of the name can, like, bring about irritation, right? So I'm going to ask you. So you were very clear in terms of the boundaries in relationship, and also the relationship. I think that seems very clear for you, why you're doing what you're doing. That's clear for you. But how did you manage your own emotion to get to a space where you could do that well enough with your father? How did you manage your own emotions at that time?
Oh, macam-macam lah. How did I manage it? Yeah. I'm very grateful. I had a career.
Mm,
Okay, that's something I focus on. I'm very grateful. I have my family who supported me 100%, especially my sisters. Okay, they supported me 100%. Every time I, visitation, they're there to be with us, and my brothers. Okay, so how did I actually manage? I'm away from them. You see, so I had a lot of time to be grungy. I call it grungy.
mm,
Not in front of my kids.
mm.
So I pick and choose the time. I manage it so that they don't really see our emotion, because it really really will affect them. So I learned to do that. So I had a lot of time lah. Every 2 weeks only I got to see them. You see, I got 2 weeks to whatever, and then I see them. you know, yeah. In fact, I just tell you a story lah. Over the 6 years journey, it's been quite tough. However, I'm always very determined and have a lot of faith that things are going to turn around. So when he passed away, I even actually took care of his widow. He was really remarried. I took care of his widow one year, and I told my kids, "Say, let's take care of your stepmom for 1 year. She's got no husband now." So I mean, I didn't feel I'm not trying to be a saint or anything, but I have a lot of I maybe I have got a lot of empathy as I go along because of the struggle that I have. Okay, the
Mm,
empathy also becomes a bit more on my part.
mm,
So
mm.
that's how I manage it lah. And
Nice.
play golf lah, play golf and have a lot of friends. Hello.
Thank you, Mas. Mas, what I really loved about all the things that you said, but specifically, the last conversation that you just mentioned, is that I love the fact that you say you had struggles, but you kept that struggles, you managed your emotion, and you showed up the right way for your children, because the children don't have to get into the mess of what we're feeling, because we are adults, we got them into it. So let's get through with our own challenges, right? So if you can just elaborate, so that we have friends who are going through what you're going through, right? And sometimes we don't know how to support them. So I love the fact that your sisters support you. But tell me how did this support look like, so that when we know when we meet another Maziana in our life, we know how to support them.
Wow, your question, tougher than my question this now,
I had a good teacher.
So how does it look like?
How
When
does
I
support
need,
look like? Yeah.
yeah, when I need a shelter, I have shelter. When I need somebody to listen to, I have them who listen to me. So I can just pick up the phone and they be there for me, okay, to
Mm,
listen. Most of the time is listening, okay,
mm,
listening and uh, uh, sharing, and if I need to solve a problem, is sharing to solve to get some solutions. That's what we do. Okay, so that kind of support is being there, being
mm.
there,
Being
just
there
being
for you, being
there and
present.
listening. Yeah.
Okay. What kind of support did your friends give you, your network of friends? How did that help you get through, beyond listening, beyond being present, right? Because there must be a difference in terms of support system with what families can do and friends can do, right? So tell us a little bit more. As friends, how can we show up and reach out to our friends who are experiencing what you're experiencing, male or female? Because on the outside you guys look so strong. I wouldn't think you need support, right, Mas? So
Ma-
so tell me.
Masalah tu, because a lot of people think I don't need support alone. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's why you need to tell, because you come across so strong that people don't. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people who are listening to you will be thinking, really, Mas, really, you went through all of that, right? That's unbelievable. So tell us, how can we support women
I tell you,
who look strong like you? Yeah.
very nice question. I tell you how my friends support me is to accept me for who I am. And a lot of my friends, even my participants, when I do training, I actually, my purpose is not really, other than doing training, is to create more friends. And my participants who eventually become my friends, they also accept me the way I am. I don't need to be in a certain way or look certain way, but just me being me, and how straightforward I am. Like, hey, you're my friend, Mala. Oh, you are supporting me by accepting me, right? And yeah, just like as simple as that.
So what I'm hearing is that the greatest support beyond listening, beyond being present, is to people who have just accepted you as you are. This is Mars, and this is the whole package. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Right? You were very clear about take it or leave it, because if you don't take me, I'm not going to change. It's like probably your loss, but this is who I am. So here I come.
Yeah.
That sounds like support from friends, right, Mas? So tell me, how did having a career, focused on a career and growing your career, how did that help you being on your path?
See, the nature of my career, thank you for that question. The nature of my career deals with people. And I have always been an advocate of relationship. Huh? Ironically, my relationship didn't work, right, the first time, but hey, I am advocate of having good relationship. I believe that if your relationship works, your relationships work, then your life work. Because relationship not necessarily just husband and wife or boyfriend, girlfriend, or lover or whatever, but it's also among your friends, your managers, your bosses, these relationships. So these relationships actually um, brings me energy in a way, right? So when not only teach people, bring every part of their everybody's got a story, so from their story I can actually learn something. So that's why I am so very passionate about what I do, is to be among people. That's the I don't know how to how to explain, but that's the
No,
thing that
that's you, Mas, because I know this about you, right? We're not calling each other every month or every week.
no.
We talk to each other maybe twice a year at the most, right? But I do know that I might put up something and then you'll call me and say, "Oi, what's happening? Let's meet for coffee," right? And because you listen very deeply, right? That there's a lot of things that just goes unnoticed with people who are with you all the time. But I've seen how when I sit down with you and something was not right, and you go, okay, now tell me what happened, right? I know that tone, and then over a cake, you would be angry with me, you would be angry for me, and that's what I've treasured about your friendship, right? Because you're on my side all the time. Doesn't matter whether I'm right or not, but you are always on my side, which is why I have no choice but to love you now, Lamas. All right. So
If I may add,
yes.
every time I get annoyed or angry, I the intention is never to hurt, though
Mm,
it comes out sometimes like hurt also lah, but the intention is not to hurt, because I know, so because my intention is very clear, because when I go to bed I don't like guilty. Wow, what did I say to mother today? Oh, you no, I don't. I'm very clear that you are going to get it and you accept me. This is how I do it. So that's why we have this friendship, Mother.
yes.
Hello.
Yo, I know. And now I don't have to wait for you, because if I feel that I need a straight shooter, someone to just tell me off, I just message you hi, and you will already know, okay, that hi means something, right, Mas? And I know you do this for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Jay, when Jay found out that, you're coming on board for this program, she was so excited. She said, oh my goodness, I'm so glad you're doing it, because Mars made a whole lot of difference in her journey as a trainer. She said that, right? Hey,
Sedih, sedih. I'm touched. Thank you, Jay.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, because she's mentioned this many times, but when I brought you on board, and she really said it, and she don't usually tune in, but she decided to tune in because it's you, Mas. And I've heard this, and now she's saying she's awesome, right? And she said this over and over again. I mean, you're a straight shooter on one hand, on the other hand, like this, like you cry with us, and you're with us, right? So
I do have a heart, okay, and feeling.
I think you're full of hearts, Mas. Now, so you build your relationship with your children over the 6 years. So when they came back and transitioned into your life, right? What was it like for you, and how did you build on that relationship?
Wow. If I look back, it was tough. Because change is not easy for everybody, right? Even now, the change with COVID, we are having a tough time. So imagine the children, they had to go through this massive change. First time change, divorce. Second time change, come back and stay with mom. And then changes after changes. So they went through it. And what actually made us strong is that we are together, three of us together, just the three of us. Okay. And my focus was to have them educated, okay, make sure they finish school, okay, and I keep, I also need to put rice on the table lah, right? So I can say my children are strong children too.
Of
my
course.
kids my kids are strong in a way, and I am a bit atypical in parenting, because I also know that my mother's my parents' ways may not work today. Okay. And so the question that they ask me typically is, Ma, when they were going to college, Ma, what subject should I take? What should I, specialize in? I just don't answer that. I just ask them back, what do you like to do? What would you like to do? Tell me.
Mm,
Okay. And I saw my son, he's very inclined to this, when they were children, they play with tractors and all that, and then cars, he likes all the sports car and all that. I thought he's going to become a mechanic. I said, mechanic. I said, if you want to become a mechanic, okay, I told him, be the best.
mm,
Right? Make sure, you finish your school, you want to become a mechanic, be the best. Best not in Malaysia, in the world. Because that's where we're going to, global. So that's the kind of conversation I have with my children. And were there challenges there? There's challenges there. There are, because here my peers, the other parents, oh, my son got 18 straight. My daughter, wow, now doing this. Okay, good. I say, good. Okay,
So
make sure you.
how did you stay focused on the interests of your children when the noise outside is getting loud to tell you what kids should be? How did you stay focused?
I don't bring it up. I don't say, hey, look, so and so's daughter, your classmate got 8 A's, I don't say that, so no comparison. I just say, how can you improve? Okay, this is your result. So is this going to take you where you want to be? Like
Mm,
that. So
mm,
guys, just to share with everyone, there's coaching there, coaching 101. Okay, you just ask them, okay, where they want to be. And some of you may say, but what if they choose all this ridiculous? Who are we to say is ridiculous? Because those days, there's no such thing as management. Those days in the 90s, when you go to school, there's no such thing as content manager. Now there's a job called content manager. Okay, so we who knows? Okay, who knows? But what is important is to build on their thinking skill, critical thinking skill, their logical thinking skill, and also empathy, giving.
mm.
That's the basis that I use.
Be human first lah. All right.
Yeah.
So tell me, before we jump into your coaching career and how coaching has, so we can see, right, even though I'm asking you a question, you're going through your own coaching thinking as to what's your goal, what you want to be, and how do you get there all the time, right? I mean, I think if I draw your blood is coaching blood lah, tapa. Now, but what I want to actually ask you, do you recall what was the most difficult conversation you had with your kids that you can share?
With my children.
What's that?
I have to think, see. Most difficult conversation. It was only during that divorce.
Okay.
I had to tell that. That's it. Yeah.
Mm.
Other than that, okay. Even I remarried also very easy.
Mm.
Hello, I'm going to marry this guy.
Nice. You've already prepared them, lah. All right. So tell us your transition from being in the banking industry, right?
Yeah, I was in a bank. Okay.
And how did you become a trainer coach? How did you get into coaching?
I started off as an engineer in the semiconductor. So I was a process engineer, and then I was a QA engineer in Motorola. I think Paul knows this. And then I moved back to Kasem as a training manager. So training manager, I started. In fact, in Motorola, I already went into people development, and it just it's so close. I can resonate very much. So I was so much alive there than being an engineer. You see, so I can tell myself, I better get out of there and join. Be focused on people. So I actually I also over the course of time, I never failed to educate myself, like NLP lah. I went for NLP to find out what. See, curious mind is still there, right? What is NLP and all that? And coaching, okay, coaching. So I took up coaching, and because I found out that people love to talk to me. When I was in Kasem, my office always got this good interruption. People come in and talk until the cows come home, and I enjoy listening to them, their stories. Okay, so I said, yeah, I would go into this people capability, and I would like to be in contribution and make a difference to other people's life. And with all the experience that I have, I feel that there's a lot that I can share. And I also believe in law of attraction. Okay, so when you say when I say I like to be with people, it's also my response. I'm also responsible to have people like me lah, right? So when I am attractive, not face attractive, it is inside and out. Okay, then that's where the law of attraction kicks in. So you attract people who are somewhat the same as you lah, in a way. Yeah, that's my belief.
And so you said you had a curious mind and you took on courses after courses after courses, right? But what made you? I know you do training, but there are a lot of people who call themselves coaches, life coaches, and you see them becoming coaches overnight. But what made you uh, say, you know what, I want to be a coach? Like, what was that moment?
Um, what made me? I saw the. I know this answer. I saw the light, the shining eyes of the people that I have conversation with. I saw that, and that is the energy, right, for me. So I know that coaching is one of the way, okay, one of the method, one of the way that I can, be in contribution. So why don't I master this coaching and practice it, right? So that's how it is. It is the people in front of me. It's always the people in front of me. People like Elina pun sama gorgeous, okay.
Hi,
Jane,
Elena.
uh,
Yeah, Jay. Okay, so let's talk about the light in the eyes, right? So when you see people's eyes, get lighted up, right? What does that mean to you, Mas?
that
Why is that light important for you? What does that do for you here?
it first of all moves me, definitely moves me. Why? Because hey, I can look at myself and reflect back. Remember when I was growing up, I'm getting validation and getting approval. It's
Mm.
kind of like a validation. Hey, you are good, man. They're telling me you're good, man. So this actually makes me more. I want to have more of this. Is an endorphin. Endorphin is something that a happy chemical,
Yes.
and you always want to have it. Yeah.
Right. So what you're saying is that the when you see the people's eyes lit up, it is really the things that you wish you had. You wish someone gave it to you, and you're giving back what you never had, you should have had, you could have had. And so what you've done is, Mars, you've taken your pains, made it into pearls. You're
Wow, you very terror lah your word. Very good, Mala. Okay,
and
yes.
you're stringing a pearl necklace, which is all the lights that has popped out in people's eyes to make a difference, so that they believe in themselves and they can find what is really good about them and shine. You in some ways you unclip their
Yes.
wings,
Yeah.
right?
You can say
and,
that,
and I,
yes.
yeah, and I think that's why I love doing this, because it is really people like you who show us over and over again, right, that life is never fair to us. We can be hurt, but we can use our hurts to shine brighter, right? Turn our pains into pearls and not pass on the pain. Use the pain to shift our lives and, literally promise ourselves, since I've been through this, you know what, I'm not going to allow people to do that. And that takes a lot of love. That takes a lot of empathy. And that's what you've given the world, right, Katmas? So,
Okay.
yeah,
Yes.
yes, yes. Shaida is saying pain to pearls. Spot on. So that's Shaida is the sister of Maziana. So yes, yes, and Shaida is another wonderful person, who works in the space of EQ. Jay is saying, so nice to see our wonderful Marcia shining eyes. So Jay's eyes are shining. It hasn't stopped shining actually from the time she met you until now. The voltage is only getting
No.
higher, right? And so, yeah, thanks, Elena. You know what you've done to the team that you brought together with Mars to be coached and to be trained, right? And Patpal doesn't know what he wished for. Patpal, I'm putting it in public because you don't know what you wished for, right? He said, I wish I had a chance to watch you in training, right? So I am going to wish Patpal, yes, you will soon, I'm sure, see Mars in training, but I'll give you extra. I hope you'll be in her class, and I hope she gives you the red pill. Okay, and Elena says all our eyes shined in 2014. Oh my goodness, and it's still shining, right, Elena? And that's the
Thank you.
impact Mars has, right? Mars, you impact people in ways that people cannot forget you, right? So Mars, Nirmala says, Mars, you sound like connectedness is one of your top strengths, right? To being
Really,
connected.
actually, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah.
absolutely right. Okay. And Jay says it hasn't stopped shining, right? Gerald Fernandez, and this is my very good friend. Wow, he says so strong mentally, physically, and spiritually. I am sure it was tough. Having the right people around you is so crucial, as you mentioned, but doing it is the difficult part. Talk is cheap, act is the difficult part, and you walk the difficult part. Says Gerald, you did it. Okay, now Kak Mas, if you are if we we have people listening and they want to become a coach, right? Like you, all right, and be a straight shooter like you for straight shooters like you, lah. What would your advice be for them as to what's the first thing you think they should do to say, okay, now I'm on the right path to being a coach?
Okay, that's a good question. Thank you very much.
I like it. I keep getting affirmation of good question from a coach. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. If coaching is the word is, it has been, I think, I feel this is what I think, it has been abused a lot lah, misused. Okay, coaching, because in corporation they say, oh, you better coach your team, he's not doing a good job. Well, so much so that, if you are somebody and your boss say, I meet me at 3 o'clock, okay, and I like to have a coaching conversation with you. The first thing that person is going to feel is, what did I do wrong? Okay, so that's one thing about coaching, the myth, right? People say that coaching is because you do things that are bad or not working or wrong things, must give feedback and all that. Yes, but also no. Okay? First thing first, coaching, you must remember, it is a huge thing on your shoulder, because you are responsible in another person's life when you are committed to coaching. Okay, so be very clear that that's what you want to do lah. Okay, be very clear that your intention, or in Malay we call niat, nawaitu, okay, that your intention is to coach so that this person will be a better person. And there's no judgment, meaning that people come in many shapes, sizes, and emotions and all that. So you must be you must have very high self-awareness lah. Oh, when we talk about judgment also, I want to steer a bit. We are human. Sometimes, Mazena, you talk only easy lah. You say, no judgment, but we are all human. Yes, suspend it. Okay, we all judge, right? Tetapi when you are doing your coaching with this person, you must remember this person's life is in your hands. So that's how big it is. Okay, and that's the first part. Then the second part is to practice and learn the techniques and the ways to coach, to get to the goal of that coach, the person that you're coaching. Thirdly, with your self-awareness, you must know, not everybody you can coach. Okay, maybe I can coach person A, okay, tetapi Mala cannot. Mala can't coach person A because, no chemistry or whatever. So you have to understand, I can't say, Mala can't say, that fella only like Maziana, don't like me. No such thing. We all have our strength. We all have a place in people, in somebody's heart. Okay, that's all I can say. So those are the things that need to have, before you really become a coach. Call yourself a coach.
What is the greatest coaching story you've heard in your experience? Like, I mean, I'm very sure everyone who meets you will say, Kak, you made a difference. But what's the story that has like resonated with your heart? When you wake up one day, tired, not feeling like doing, and that story makes you pick yourself up and say, yes, this is what I'm called to do. Is there a story in your heart that someone has shared with you that truly resonates with you that you can share with us?
I have a lot, so I'm going to choose one. I recently got a message from somebody I coached 5, 6 years ago. Okay, he was in my training. It was a coaching training, and also we had the small group coaching. And at that time, they were very young, like interns. Okay, so that group was a group of interns, and over the years, during that training, I was giving him all the motivation and all the light at the end of the tunnel, because he blurted out, he said, one day I want to become a CEO of a company. And everybody around him was like, yeah lah, you just create $1 company, you become CEO lah, something like that. But then I looked at him and said, if you have that in mind, very clear in your eyes, then go for it. You have what it takes, right? So that was 6, 7 years, oh no, maybe 10 years ago. So he just came back to me recently. He's the CEO of a company. And and he said, I will never forget what you did to me, how you made me feel. And I am truly, truly uh, thankful that, you were there for me. So that, alamak, I I that's one one of the story I can tell you. And of course the rest, like Jane, hi Elena, hello. Okay, there's more. Okay, there's Shanti, there's so many of them, and there's also Farouk, uh, everybody,
Yeah.
that shines. That's the one.
Yeah, Elena says goosebump. Yeah. Farouk is one of these friends who, I remember when I was
Mm,
supposed to do work, in the organization, and Farouk was the decision maker, and
yeah,
had another straight shooter, and I'm hoping Farouk will
yeah,
say yes to our show soon, right? You've seen a straight shooter, but wait until you meet Farouk and said, you know what, I really don't like you, Maziana is my favorite, and and in my heart, as Farouk was saying, Maziana is my favorite, I'm saying, go ahead, go ahead, right? Because I know Mas. So Farouk was one of those who looked at me. Yes, Farouk, I know you're here, and said,
yeah.
is my favorite. But I have to add on in case Farouk doesn't say now. Farouk says, I got two favorites, Maziana and Mala Eminem, right? We're a package, so that's where we are at now, Farouk. So say yes to our show quickly so that we can hear your inspiring story, Farouk, quickly. Now, Ma, so thank you very much for making time, telling us about your journey, how your wings were clipped, and how you had the need to fly, and you didn't allow and continue to, keep your wings clipped, right? And thank you for showing up in just not just courage, right? But showing up authentically courageous, yet not losing humanity and empathy, because anyone who's seen you, have known you, as a straight shooter will know, as straight as you shoot, that's as much love that gets right to the center of who we are in terms of acceptance and love. So with that, we are going to do what we call the rapid fire. Okay?
Okay.
And with you, I think we can afford to have a little bit of fun. I tak berani duduk. So because we've been talking about red pill, blue pill, right? So red pill is when she's giving you really hard. So I'm going to ask you some annoying question, and so tell us when someone asks you questions like this, right? What would be a red pill answer, and what would be a blue pill answer? All right, say it in Maziana way, Kara lah, boleh?
Okay.
All right. Okay, so give me the red pill for. Come ask, what's your blind spot? I'm sure you're not so perfect.
Everyone not so perfect, what? My blind spot, sometimes I also got my low, what you call that? Impulse control. I still need to work on that lah. Impulse control.
Okay, now give us the blue one, the nice polished version. Mas, what's your blind spot, Mas?
I think I have to practice the 3 minutes or pause for 3 minutes, before I say something. So
Okay.
Is that blue enough or not? I also
It's
don't
blue
know.
enough. It's enough blue. I like the red ones, right? Because that's where the fun is. Kak Mas, I think you're so full of yourself. Like there are photos everywhere. You want to show off, girl. Where you go for holidays and stuff like that.
Okay, if you want to take it like I'm showing off, good. Okay, also. Okay. But my intention very clear. I just want to inspire other people that it is possible, guys. Possible to live the life that you want.
Okay, now the blue pill.
Oh, blue pill. Jesus. The blue pill is thank you for the feedback. But I hope you can see that my intention is to inspire others and motivate others to also have dreams and uh, try and achieve that dream.
Nice. So the audience, I'm going to ask a couple more questions. You decide whether you like the blue pill or the red pill, right? Mas, are you ready? We're going to get faster now.
Yeah.
Mas, what irritates you?
So many things lah.
Hey, red pill. Remember, be in the role. Red pill.
Red pill lah. My husband lah. Not time. Irritate me. Ask me so many questions. Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
when you say that in a blue pill way, what irritates you?
What irritates me? When someone keep doing the same thing or asking me the same question over and over again and not listening to my answer that they have to, ask
Nice.
me so many times. Yeah.
Okay. You mess with Maziana when?
You mess with me. Never. Don't ever. No.
So what happens? What happens when people mess with Maziana? Give them the red pill. Come on.
You will get the very sweet taste of, don't know what to say lah. You get it in a how shall I say, opposite of what you did to me. Such that
Whoa.
you feel it. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I like your villainous laugh, right? I'm your best friend when?
You're always my best friend. That one, no blue pill, red pill. You're always my best friend. I love friends. Okay? I love friends. That one, no blue pill.
So no, everyone is your best friend lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Best friends. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, one thing that people misunderstand about you.
One thing that people misunderstand about me. I have so many. People, the top one, people think I am sombong, not sombong, like fierce.
Arrogant. Fierce or arrogant? Fierce.
Fierce, more fierce than, fierce. Yeah, people think I'm fierce and unfriendly.
You're not? I got you there, right? Okay. What is the one thing that you've heard about you that hurts you to the core?
Can you repeat that question, please?
What's that one thing that you've heard being said about you that hurts you to the core? Sakit hati lah.
That I did something that was not my intention, that it came out like that. Like for example, like taking other people's things, right? But people accuse me of taking it. Yeah. In a nutshell, I tell you that lah, right?
Nice. So when
When
your intention is missed lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Okay. And if there is one leadership advice that you would give to aspiring coaches, what would that be?
Appreciate people are different. Have that empathy. That's the thing that's missing in many leaders. That even us, that people are different, and always when you speak to them with that in mind, you will always put yourself in their shoe, that empathy, and you will always be able to look at two sides of the coin in every situation. Nice. So you can ask questions also. Yeah.
Nice.
That's
If
okay.
there was magic wand during
Uh-huh.
coaching session,
Hmm.
right? So imagine you're in a coaching session, in the most difficult coaching session, and you had a magic wand, right? What would the wand do to people you're coaching?
They'll be transformed right away. Don't have to go through so many sessions. Transform right away and go.
Really?
And,
Yeah, but
yeah,
then that would mean that people don't come back to you again, man.
it's okay. I just want to see them transform. Go, go.
Okay, so you wish
Coaching
that
takes time, though, you know.
okay,
Yeah.
and so what usually in your coaching side, what is the one thing that stops people from transforming as quickly as they could?
It's removing their fear. It's removing their fear and their beliefs. Okay, so that's the one that takes time. Okay.
Okay, okay. So it is the fear. We started off with you being fearful, and now you're saying remove the fear. And how do you do it? You do it through coaching. And how do you know you're doing it well? Because you see light in
Yeah.
people's eyes. And
Yeah.
why do you do it? Because you've experienced the pain and you've decided to make it into pearls and string it and give it to the world for a better world. Maziana, thank you very, very much. One last thing, you are in a series called Being Whole, Being Me. What does being whole, being me means to you?
And what does it mean to me? Is that I can live my life as comfortable, content, with a lot of contentment and happy. Being happy is super important. We only live once. Hello, live once only. Must be happy. Yeah.
So life is once, be happy. If you're not happy or you don't know how to be happy, please contact Maziana for her red pill and blue pill, and your life will be transformed as quickly as you can. So please contact Maziana if you really, really need a push or a kick. She's an amazing person, Maz. Thank you very much again for spending the afternoon with us and sharing a part of your life and your vulnerability and just showing up as you always are. Right. Thank you, Mars. I will see you again soon. Now, before you go, just reading out some comments. Dr. Vimi of Vimaleswari says, yes, happy is my rule number one as well. Gerald is saying, wonderful session. Thank you, Malamas. Looking forward to next Friday. Have a wonderful day and weekend. Thank you, Mars. I
Thank
am
you, everyone.
Yes, anything you want to say before I get you off the screen and take back the stage?
No, I just want to say thank you, everybody, and I hope you will join us. I mean, all of us coaches to become another coach. You know, it is a very noble career or noble thing to do to be.
Mm. A good teacher inspires, ignite the imagination, and instill a love of learning. That is Mars from Jasonaya. Okay, ita habis. I want to get rid of you. Cannot. Elena says, thank you, Mars Malar, for this fun and informative. So for once, we are fun. So, Kak Mas, oh, got one more. Asma says, great M&M's combination, great session. Thank you, Asma. If you have not joined us before, it's great to see you. So, Mas, thank you very much. Love you. See you
Let's
again.
fly, everybody fly.
Bye. Take care. Bye. All right. So that was Mars. And if you thought she was crazy, yes, she is crazy. I want to thank everybody who has joined us specifically today on a Friday afternoon in Being Whole, Being Me series. July is bringing us, we are bringing you the stories of personal growth. And we have started off with Maziana Zain, who spoke about her life and, the difference that she makes in coaching. Next week, we have another personal growth story. I'm going to keep it mysterious a little bit because, I want you to tune in on Monday to check who's coming on board. With that, to all the people who turn up every week, every Friday with us and encourage us to keep this going, thank you very much. And it's lovely to see new people today who I can see on screen, which is Farooq, Asma, Nurelina, Jay, of course, Nimala, thank you for always being there, Gerald, always there, Vimy, and Shaida for being here. Have I missed anybody else? Patpal, yes. And Karpiya, Chaitan is here. Lukesh, Pramila, and let me see, John Peter Ganesan. I hope I didn't miss anybody. So thank you. Stay safe. We have another MCO extended. Remember to stay happy because Maziana said so. Thank you. Have a great weekend, and I see you next Friday. Signing off. This is Malar from Hearts and Minds, bringing you real people, real stories who live extraordinary life. Bye.